how's it going? Welcome to Held Captive Media. I am the boy here. My name is Logan. You might know me from, I don't know, the guy who was picking up his dog's poop earlier, and then his hand went through the bag. That was really upsetting. That actually didn't happen today. That happened yesterday, but I wanted to mention it here. Anyway, this is my friend Zane.
Hey. I hate that for you.
Yeah, I know. I think I was watching the video and I sent it to a friend, and he had like our first video that we just made that we're putting out.
I was about to say, did you take a video of your hand going through the bag?
No. That would be incredible.
That's fucking nasty.
Just how did you know it was going to happen?
You see me mush it with my hand? No, that'd be disgusting. No, what I was saying is I showed our first video to somebody, and they noticed that I was like, you may know me as blah, blah, blah. And I think I'm going to do that at the top of every episode. I think I'm going to say ridiculous things that I did, and you may know me from that. Anyway, so yeah, this is Zane.
Hi.
And my sweet lady who puts up with so much, and me. Franny.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Franny, show people your alteration.
Oh, yeah. I got a tattoo.
She got a tattoo.
Fresh ink.
More tattoos.
Yeah.
And a nose ring.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways.
And today we're talking about issues with this film that might relate to why she made these decisions. Anyway, today...
Stop.
Today, we're talking about Hereditary. So Hereditary was directed by Ari Aster and was in fact his first feature-length film. He's known as one of the more critically adored names in this new genre that people are talking about, elevated horror. It still strings me out because I don't quite understand how something can be elevated horror. I just think of it as really good horror, but that's besides the point. So he's a rising star, and he directed this film, and it stars Toni Collette, which a lot of people would argue was totally snubbed for an Academy Award for her performance. Oh. And it's also got one of those Naked Brother Band's kids. I don't know. He was really cute in it, though. He did a good job. Yeah. Anyway, when the emotionally distant monarch of the Graham family dies, her daughter, grandchildren, and their father unravel abnormal and immensely horrific truths about their family. You'll never see a 3D architectural model the same way again.
Yeah, I'd say that's true.
It was definitely very interesting ways to kind of play off of that scale element, always making things feel a little unreal.
Well, okay, I agree. Let's get into that. Let me first give my thoughts. We'll go down the line, and then there'll be a spoiler thing. You know, y'all can watch it, come back. If you don't care and you haven't seen it still, and yet you still want to watch this review, first of all, I don't get why you don't want to see it and want to watch this review, but if that's what you want, that's cool. Anyway, guys, my thoughts on Hereditary. I thought it was one of the more inventive films of 2018, and it had one of the best trailers. It had that scene from the film where, I'm not going to spoil what happened, but they're at a grave site, and you see a coffin lowering, and then you see it lowering below the ground, and you see that shot of the dirt and everything, and it's just, it was such a visual spectacle early on, before the movie had even come out, that I had immense hype. So when I finally saw it while I was working at Family Video, it was incredible, and I bought the Blu-ray from $1 from myself at Family Video. You guys can't sue me, so LOL. Stole from you guys Hereditary. What did you think of Hereditary, Zane?
So this is a movie that I've been hearing about for just like the longest time. Anytime you're in sort of like nerd spaces or a lot of like people who talk about movies or talk about like maybe not super recognized movies, which a lot of the time, a lot of the things that fall into that horror space end up kind of getting like looked over because it's like, oh, it's just a scary movie or whatever. It's not whatever Leonardo DiCaprio or whoever put out something super like dramatic or what have you. But it's one thing that I just kept hearing the name and kept hearing like, oh my God, it is the
hype was so real.
Yeah.
It was
for sure.
a little
Absolutely
upsetting
viral.
to me how much hype surrounded this movie. And I was like, man, when I finally do go to watch this movie, it's not going to live up to the hype. It does though.
It totally does.
It
totally does.
Really, really fucking good. I was like, I kept waiting for there to be like little things that slipped up or something, but every moment, just like every thread that Ari Aster put out there, like he ties it back in. He just like did such a good job of building this narrative, building this world, making you question everything in it, and just like no matter what, no matter like the silly thing, not silly thing, but the thing that it looked like it was like, oh, that's just a weird thing happening in the background or whatever. It always gets tied in.
There's massive reincorporation. Franny, what did you think of it?
This was my second time watching it. I loved it just as much the second time. It's fucking like terrifying though at times.
Yes, and
for like not being that like scary of a movie. Like it's not like a slasher or something, you know. Like it's not like something you typically. It more like fucks with you.
It's a whole different kind of terror.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
it's more visceral. I think.
I can't remember which one of you said it, but you guys said like, don't think of it as a horror movie.
Right.
Think of it as a good movie that is going to unsettle and freak you out.
All right, we're spinning out a little bit though. We'll talk more about that. Let's get our reviews real quick.
Our ratings.
Yeah, our ratings. Yeah. For me, I've been giving a lot of high scores, but I think it's because we've been coming out the gate with a lot of really great movies. But I do have some problems with Hereditary specifically that I can get into. So for me, it's an 8.5 out of 10. But it's not like this 10 out of 10 movie for me, but it's an 8.5 out of 10. Zane.
I was gonna say 8.5, 9 out of 10 because that's and it might just
and that's
be,
still great. Like understand that most movies are like a 4 to a 6.
Yeah, absolutely.
So an 8.5 is like really good.
It's something that I said in the first review that we did. I was like, I want to try to like temper my like ratings. Like I want to go like try to be putting some of these in the middle of the row so that I have like I'm able to go up, I'm able to go down. But like almost every movie that we've gone through and been recording for has just been so just really, really fucking good.
Yeah, you guys will see the pooper ones.
Yeah.
You guys will see those too. We don't hold back.
But that's
Franny, what would you give your number for?
8. I give it an 8. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, guys, I think it's safe to say we'll be right back with spoilers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And guys, we're back. Guys, I just want to start it off by saying this movie is so much better if you've seen it twice.
I agree.
It is so much better if you see it twice. And the reason why is something that Zane mentioned in the earlier part, and we can get into it a little bit, is there's so much reincorporation in the movie and so many hidden gems. Like the funeral scene for me and Franny was a lot better than your guys's because you had no idea that, spoilers, guys, shocking, we're in the spoiler section, that all those people were a part of that cult. You know, the cult that we eventually learn in to lead about. This movie's big twist and like the concept that it's going for is the entire time you're trying to decipher whether it's going to be a supernatural horror thing or whether it's a mental illness thing. And it kind of gives you both.
And that's
which is wild, but
so that was kind of one of the things that like I cannot wait to watch this another 2, 3, 4 times because I'm like it feels like one of those ones that we're just going to like continually find more stuff because I feel like there was enough things that I remembered and I like kind of logged in the back of my head is like, oh, that's weird. Like
there was one where you guys were just like explain that like out loud, both of you. I don't even remember what it was because you're like, what was that? And I was like, I don't know.
So there was and
then Lacey,
there was the symbol on the post, and then there was the girl just like
chopping nuts. Lacey was just like, oh no. It killed me. It was so funny.
Yeah.
It was an oh no moment. But there's tons of things that you won't notice upon first watch, and that is the best stuff in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Things that I picked up on this time that I didn't even pick up on the first like 4 times I watched it. Like the wristband thing when she's chopping the nuts and everything. I didn't notice that, and then I fact checked myself like right after. There was great hidden stuff in this movie, and I think it's because ultimately this more operates like a mystery thriller that's horrific in a way. I mean, there's tons of horror in it, but really what the whole goal for you as an audience member is to feel the uncomfortableness of these mentally ill people all communicating with one another as family, as well as dealing with all the tension that comes with that and where it's going, whether it's actually supernatural shit or not. So I don't know. I think the real dismerit that this movie had for people and why there was like such a mixed reaction when it first came out was the fact that you're right. It's kind of not a horror movie, and it's better if you don't think about it like one. And that was a point that you were making before.
Well, I think that was something that one of you guys had mentioned when we were originally sitting down to watch it, because I had told you that I was like, well, I've heard a lot of hype about this movie, and I'm like, I want to know what goes on in it. I want to see it. And it was one of those things where I'm like, I was nervous that I was going to be like underwhelmed by the end result.
Right.
And you like went straight out and you were like, hey, to temper your expectations, do not think of it as a horror movie. Just thinking of it as somebody telling a story, and then let whatever emotions hit you.
Yeah,
and it was like,
it's like genre bending, you know.
It gives you a real. I mean, things displayed on screen are so horrific at times that it really gives you this visceral, horrible feeling when bad things happen.
I like that it's a psychological thriller above all else.
Yeah,
I think at least.
No, definitely. You know, I mean, I don't want to speak for Ari Aster, but a lot of today's like new elevated directors really get inspiration from people like M. Night Shyamalan,
right?
And
Can I compare this to a movie that is not nearly as good as this?
Yeah,
What?
absolutely.
So in Crimson Peak, there is a line that they keep saying over and over where it's like, it is not a ghost story, it is a story with ghosts in it. And I feel like that movie didn't do that justice as well as this did justice. This is a story with a demon in it.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
that's a good point.
It's like, it was just one of those things that right after watching it, that quote came into my
Yeah.
mind. And I'm like, that movie, I haven't watched it in a long time, but I don't remember it being great.
It's like what the Turning of the Screw remake wanted to be.
The Turning, you remember the
Yeah.
Turning in general with Finn Wolfhard?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
what
fucking
that
God.
wanted to be.
Not the point. Yeah, definitely. That's absolutely what it wanted to be. Man, Toni Collette's performance it fucked me up. It made me uncomfortable to see her in other movies for a while. When I saw Knives Out, I just thought, oh no, she's gonna play this unhinged bitch. Really, she plays like Gwyneth Paltrow in that movie, but which is an unhinged woman, but for totally different reasons. But in this movie, she's like, the way she screams at her son and the way that she goes on these rambles and these crying fits and is making these horrific 3D sculptures. I mean, she is like one of the worst horror villains in the last 10 years. And really, there is sympathy for her at times because
Definitely.
it's great screenwriting too. The entire script as a whole is just as strong as any other element in this movie, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
No.
And then the seance scene is the most powerful seance scene in history, and there's not even really a ghost. Isn't that fucked up? Like it's a fake seance scene, but in the most fucked up way ever.
Right.
And it's
just
so-
a fucking demon.
It's so scary. I mean, it's way scarier than like Ouija board or anything, or like fucking Ouija 2 Origin of Evil or anything. I mean, it's terrifying. And then, you come to find out it's not even under these traditional rules. And she has a picture of that son, like of this. What's the Naked Brother Band's kid? Naked Brothers Band. Like, what's his name? What's his real name? It's Alex Wolff, but what's his character's name actually?
I cannot for the life. Like,
I keep
as soon
trying
as-
to say his character's name, and I just want to say Alex Wolff, and I'm like, that's not the character's fucking name.
Yeah.
But I can't do it. It doesn't matter. It's a great movie.
And his performance, like, that's the last time I had seen him was on like was it Nickelodeon?
Yeah, Nickelodeon. Yeah, he was in the
plays
Naked
Peter.
Peter.
He's great as Peter.
He does such a phenomenal job because he's just like the mom. Every time she's on the screen, you're like, is she going to be like, is she going to snap? Is this going to be the moment? And the kid the whole time, like, you go from being like, oh, well, yeah, he's like a teenager. He's trying to run around to like, I'm scared for this. Like, you go from it being like, oh, well, he's 16. He's like able to drive. He's able to go out to parties. He's like, he's able to handle himself. And then like, you're like, I'm terrified for this child. Cause like you see that, not that switch. Actually, I would probably say that, yeah, the car scene was when it really felt like a switch for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like I remember being
absolutely. There is a hard emotional reset in this film, and it happens right after the party scene where he's rushing his sister to the hospital, and she sticks her head out the window for air, and she gets taken out by that perfectly placed electrical pole. Mm-hmm. And that is the moment where like I was you guys remember at that moment I was apologizing to you guys. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I told you to worry that it was going to be morbid and horrific. Yeah. I literally started apologizing. You guys were like, "Oh gosh, that's
Even
what we're doing."
The second time around, that one still like
that
got me.
Sucks, man. Mm-hmm. And that I saw that like by myself at our old house in that creepy ass basement.
Wow.
On our big 4K TV, and I was fucked up because the sound design of this movie is also very creepy. Like the scene at the end when the mother's crawling around the walls and on the ceiling, it's like the whole time. Yeah, that's horrific and horrible, and it sounds terrible.
Speaking of that, I just remember like we were sitting on your guys' couch, like watching that play out, and Lacey, like to my side, just goes like, "Oh no, please no, please no!" Like no. And I'm looking at the screen, and I don't know if there was like a slight glare from where I was sitting or what was happening, but I didn't notice her originally, and then as it like started to lighten up a little bit, I was like, "Oh God, I hate that." Oh, okay, that's super uncomfortable. Yep. Like when you just like see her up in the corner, and Lacey like
she's
caught
there
it
for so long, or the ghost of the mother scene where she's in that attic room, and then it's just like a silhouette ghost that sits there. They never readdress it. Mm-hmm. You don't really know if it was like her mental health or if it has anything to do with the demonology shit. Mm-hmm. You know what's the demon's name again? Like Paris P something. It's something with a P.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is.
I thought it was Buff.
I want to say PyCon, but that's Dragon Ball Z. So I know. No, it's not PyCon. It might be Pagan or something. No. Or something like that. It's gonna be something completely without a P and like not at all related. Anyway, I know it's dude. I think a part of this movie's effect, a part of this movie's effect is that it's so horrible you start to black it out afterwards. Not because it's a bad movie, but because you just don't want to think about it anymore.
Yeah. It was definitely one of those ones that just like it hits you and then your mind was like, we're not ready to really process that for a second. So that's like sometimes we'll like watch a movie and then we'll step back into here, do the review. Mm-hmm. That one I was like, yeah, I'm not mad that we're going to take a couple of days to kind of like decompress from that and like look
it has
back
to digest.
Now
that one certainly has to digest.
I'm
glad I watched it a second time before I even reviewed it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead. You're right. It was good that you watched it a second time before you reviewed it. And the way we all watched it together. That was like an experience because it's very emotional and fucked up to deal with. What I was going to say was my one problem with this movie, and I think it's a fair thing to say. All right, so the dad. I love the dad character, by the way. I think the dad character is one of the few redeeming characters in the whole movie. Mm-hmm. With that being said, you get a call that your mother-in-law's body was exhumed from a grave, and you have no questions or thoughts about this, or asking someone how this ended up happening. I mean, you know your wife's a little cuckoo, dude. You don't want to even bring up the conversation.
I feel like at the beginning, it's supposed to be played off like, yeah, she's got depression or something. But
no, I know, but there's all this stuff in between.
I think he's in denial.
All this stuff in between. Yeah, exactly. But they don't really put you in front of that because the whole time he is pushing back against his wife, so he's not in denial. It'd be better if he was acting like he was in denial. That's my issue with the movie.
Yeah.
Is he would be combative at times. He would try to keep the peace. I mean, he loved her. But he stood up for his son when it was necessary.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
to me, I would think that somebody with those kind of grounds would be like, I have something to ask you about, actually. It seems your mother's body was exhumed and you leave for multiple hours every day to go watch the movies. There's not that many movies at the movies. I would know. I see a lot of movies. There's not that many movies at the movies to believe that story. Sorry. Thoughts?
I mean, denial can be strong.
Sure, I guess it just doesn't fit.
And
with
he's
the
married to this person with
that.
kids and everything.
And everybody experiences like emotional distress in different ways.
And needing space.
I'm not saying that I can't accept it. It just doesn't, to me, feel like it fits the character's profile.
I don't think the
dad's
that redeemable. I think he's a little avoidant, honestly.
I don't think he's avoidant at all.
That was one of the things that, like, when we were all watching it, I feel like me and you kept talking about how you were like,
I didn't fuck with the dad.
Yeah, you were like, I was like, oh, the dad's like stepping up for his son and everything, and you're like, The dad's
He's
not doing enough.
Yeah, he needs to get them the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
I was very upset by the dad.
Well, then I can also argue the denial thing, right? Like I think the denial argument works much better in comparison
the fact
with that
he
argument.
didn't get them out of there shows that he's in denial.
Yes, and
avoidance.
But I don't think that means that he, in regards to what he said, he's in denial about. And I also don't agree with you that he was in denial. I'm saying you have a better argument for it than like the argument of, oh, it's because he's in denial that he never approached her about the dead body being exhumed. I just don't buy that. Especially somebody who's so like distant. Wouldn't you want to even just say anything to be like, hey, I'm going to tell you something. Can you emotionally be here for 5 seconds? It's like he never even once threw that at her. And it's such a big deal for someone's body to just go fucking missing.
I think he's trying not to stress her out.
That was.
I don't accept it. I'm not saying I accept the movie, and the movie's incredible. I just think that that's such a weird thing.
Weird
I think
character thing.
He says that at the like right before.
He has this big realization, and that's great for the film.
Yeah.
But I just think that logically, the way this movie's so logical at times, it just seemed like a weird thing for them to do.
So, question posed to both of you guys. Do you think that the mom was sleepwalking when she tried to set her son on fire?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I do.
I fucking do not.
I think the unconscious mind will accept things that you need to do
That's
without you knowing it.
In the therapy scene or whatever she was talking about, she was like, I would not give my son to her because she knew that her mom wanted a son. She might not have known why.
Yeah.
But she knew that her mom had fucked up her one son.
We know that she tried to, like, I definitely argue with you that what your statement is absolutely possible. I think the only reason I don't think that that's the case is because she doesn't really seem to have a problem being unbearably horrible when she's upset. I feel like she would have brought it up.
Yeah.
If they wanted to make that the effective point in the movie. I'm not saying that it's impossible, though. Ari Aster tomorrow could be like, actually, the whole time she was trying to do it. And I'd be like, poggers, dude.
I think she was sleepwalking. I think it was something in her, like, knew he'd be better off.
I think the sleepwalking part's the important part of the story. He's playing off of tropes of mental illness because he's trying to pass this hereditary illness passing on ideal onto the audience, so it can be that juxtaposition of is it this or is it that, and that's like the best part of the whole movie. So I think that theory kind of distinguishes that a little bit, but it doesn't mean that it can't be true.
And I think that's one of the neat parts about so many of the things in this, when it is like, because he blurs the line so much where it's like, is it mental illness or is it supernatural? You get those moments where it's like, okay, was that mental illness? Like, was that mental illness in play when she was actually, like, was she actually sleepwalking, or was she actually trying to kill her son?
It's constantly a mysterious film. It has like a thing about it that just beckons you to ask more and more questions the more you think about it. And it's because it's truly like a genius film in the sense of what it was trying to accomplish. I'm not saying it's Jaws or anything. He hates Jaws. That's the only reason I'm saying that. But it's a great film.
I love Jaws.
I know Jaws is so good. Anyway,
I don't
guys,
hate Jaws as much as I hate E.T. Hot take.
I don't like E.T.
Guys,
either.
I will fuck it.
No, guys,
Let's
in the
set
comments,
this
please.
film
I'm sorry.
channel on
I'm sorry.
fire.
I love that little alien with his little Reese's Pieces. I love him. We do not accept ET hate here.
2 out of the
stand
3 of
ET.
us. The majority rules on this one.
But I'm me. And producer Lacey is hearting ET off camera right now. And she's the one who decides whether this goes on YouTube. She can stop all of us from talking right now if she wants. So no ET hate. Put a little ET on the screen with a little heart around. Yeah.
She's not going to do that.
She's going to do it.
I hope she doesn't.
I'm gonna go ahead.
I vote for no.
I vote hard doubt that she's gonna put a little ET.
She's gonna put an ET right here.
Now that
you said she's not gonna do it, she's gonna do it.
I believe in this ET right here. I know it's gonna be here. Right? Come here. Anyway, she's gonna be.
She's like, oh my god, you just made my job so much harder.
If she doesn't put it there, it would just be one ET sitting there. But if she doesn't put it there, it'll be even funnier.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. I don't think she would.
Guys, I think we've said everything we need to say, considering we've moved on to ET's slander. Guys, I think it's time that we play a game. We'll be right back. And we're back, guys. What we had a ridiculous argument about what game we should even play. That's kind of why I was like, let's cut, and I'll say we're gonna play a game. But guys, today we're playing Bang, Mary, and Carol Baskins.
I don't want this.
Hit the button.
I can start.
And today, the topic of the topic of discussion. I almost said the topic of discretion. The topic of discussion is
I wish it was.
Characters from Hereditary. Zane, who would you? You know what? I know you hate being asked first.
I can go.
Franny's ready.
I've got it down.
Who
I've
would
got
you
it
bang,
nailed.
marry, and or kill?
Okay.
Who you going to fuck?
Okay, I'd kill the dad. Obvious reasons. He sucks.
What? Why the dad? He's like the only redeemable character in the whole movie.
I'd fuck the grandma because you know she's into some freaky shit.
Can you get canceled for playing one of these games?
That's why I didn't want this. Oh,
Leave the child out of this, Franny, please.
I'm leaving the child out of this. The grandma's fair game. She's well within age range.
Maybe think about it, bro.
And she can contort all crazy
if you
shit.
think about it, dog, she's kind of like, doesn't it start like depleting years after a while? Like, isn't she in like the negative now that she's dead?
I don't know.
You said fuck the grandma, right?
Yeah.
The fucking corpse.
No, prior to her dying.
You don't
Franny's the
see
one who
her in the
assumed
movie
that
when
body.
she's not dead.
Yes, you do.
Wait, what'd you
Dude,
say?
Is she in the movie
she's
ever not dead?
The
I
movie
guess her
like
ghost.
opens at her funeral.
Okay, I'd
She's
fuck the
a
grandma
Now,
corpse
wait
the whole
one
time.
second. We see in the film her pictures of her at parties. And mats that she had woven herself
you
like a good
see
grandmother.
those
Now
post-mortem.
hold on.
And she's
I said
like
no
the head
interrupting.
of her fucking cult
Zane,
and shit.
hold
That's a
on.
bad bitch right there.
Franny, I argue that you could say that you wanted to bang the grandmother in those family photos.
Correct.
There we go. That makes up for it, right? Who'd you
She's
want
a
to
bad
kill?
bitch.
Is it me? I hope it's me.
No, I said the dad.
Oh, well, who'd you want to marry?
Oh,
You did him in an incredibly weird order.
I don't know. Probably for the
I would
demon.
marry the grandmother for influence, you know?
Yeah, true.
Gonna be the leader of a cult? What up?
All right, fuck the demon, marry the grandma.
You're gonna fuck a demon. All right. My wife, everybody. Zane. Or do you want me to go? It's up to you.
Is shook. Anyways.
Okay, so fuck, I hate this. I hate this so much. I don't want this to be happening right now,
gotta
but
answer
that's also
I
how
answered
everybody
it.
felt in the movie. So I guess we're just going to go ahead and so I'm going to go ahead and say kill the mom cuz she needs to chill the fuck out. I'm going to say marry the son because he needs some love in his life.
You're going to marry a child?
He's the same age as us. Well, he's like 2 years younger than me, same age as you.
He's not in the movie.
Not in the movie, but
We said the movie characters.
Yes.
okay, fine. She's fucking
I
a
said-
corpse.
I said
I'm
to
marrying
leave
an
out-
underage boy.
I said to
That's
leave
just
out
what's
the
happening,
children.
I guess.
Guys, disclaimer.
Marry
Zane
the
is
dad.
not marrying an underage child.
No.
He's marrying the dad.
Marrying the dad.
He's gonna be
I'll
that
kill
child.
the mom, marry the dad. It's a fucking electro
I don't
complex.
like the idea of you marrying the dad because then you have instant access to
but-
that child.
No,
I hate
he's
that.
gonna be a good stepdad. I have a feeling.
All right, guys.
And then I'm gonna fuck Ari Aster because he already fucked with my head during this movie.
I got to figure out who I want to slam, bam, and drive a Trans Am. I'm trying to come up with
like
different
that.
names for it. We can't call it fuck, marry, kill. So, like, you slam, all right? You're hitting them up. You bam, they're dead. You drive a Trans Am. You drive a Trans Am
I
with
would
a
think
loved
Bam
one.
is
I wouldn't
slam or
drive a
Bam.
Trans Am with a loved one.
Why not?
I don't know. I just feel like they're unsafe.
Lacey, you're not allowed to get in a Trans Am with him. Sorry. Sorry. All right. Who would I fuck? Toni Collette, no doubt. I love crazy women,
Yeah.
and she's incredibly hot. And she there was a
I know
joke.
you like them
There was a
crazy.
joke about sleepwalking that we said before the video, but now it doesn't feel like we should say it.
Right.
No.
That's fair.
Even though I think we picked this game solely for that joke. It just got really dark in here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Real-
Sorry,
I
guys.
think
Emotionally
the
or
lighting is
physically?
just matching. Yeah, no, fuck that.
Anyway, who do I want to marry would be the next question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think I would marry like the weirdo lady who like pulled her in and was like, you should try the seance thing, and she was a part of the cult. Yeah, because she seems like she's really good at crafts, and like she has a lot of free time, so she can make me cool shit. And she's not alive like like she's alive and the grandmother's not.
She's not alive.
She's
like
not
the grandma.
alive. I mean, she's not real,
Listen,
so that does
okay,
help
the
me
fact
answer this
that
question.
I married the grandma and then she dies, I inherit that cult.
Not if okay, it doesn't matter. I mean,
I mean
I'm
that's
the
pretty
one
fucking cool.
Whatever, it doesn't
Isn't
matter.
the basis of the whole cult that like all the men are gonna die?
Am I
and
gonna
it's
get the
women
chance to
roll?
say who
I
I
think
want to
it's that
kill?
we
Because if you guys
are
don't
all
shut
gonna
up,
die, and that
it'll
sounds
be
fine.
you. All right, I get to say now who I want to kill. Okay, thank you. And I would kill those horrific CGI bugs. Because they
Fair.
made the movie a little shittier than it had to be. Well, anyway, guys, this was Held Captive Media. Thank you, Zane, my boy here, and my lady Franny for coming on and just talking some shit. Guys, if you like the content we're making, please subscribe. We're trying to get up to 100 subscribers so we can get, settled in. You know what I mean? So it would really help if you guys hit that sub button, like the video, please share it. If you guys are watching this on Facebook, desperately, I need you to still, watch it on YouTube. I don't know if this would even make it. It doesn't matter. Wherever you're seeing this, share it. Get as many people to watch it because we want to do this for you. We want to come back every week and make you laugh. All right, kids. See you later.